For years my mom and sister tried to reconcile me with my ex, but I married someone else and eventually got pregnant. When I was 16, I started dating my brother's best friend. We stayed together until high school graduation. After that he proposed, but I said no, and it caused serious drama. My family pressured me to reconsider. They suggested we stay engaged, or at least try to make peace. My relationship with my 36-year-old brother became strained, and with my 32-year-old sister, it completely fell apart. She believed my ex was perfect for me, and started acting out. When I began dating his brother, things escalated. My ex was invited everywhere, even to family holidays. I stayed quiet because he was close with my siblings. Things got worse when my sister started actively trying to push us back together. She arranged surprise dates, forced us to share rooms during holidays, and he was at every event. Eventually, I had enough and asked my parents to intervene. They spoke to my brother and sister, and after that, my ex was no longer invited to family gatherings. Things got a little better. My brother backed off, but my sister didn't. Everything changed when I met my future husband while studying abroad. He was from the same country but attended a different university. We connected instantly. It felt magical. After a year, we got engaged. The whole family was happy for me, except for my sister. She insisted it was just a phase and I'd grow out of it. After countless arguments and her repeated attempts to bring me back to my ex, I gave her an ultimatum. If she did anything like that again, I'd cut her off completely. Her response? She made me her bridesmaid and insisted I spend time with her wedding party, which included my ex. She even paired her friend with my husband. We only found out at the wedding when the girl started flirting with him. My sister claimed that since we weren't married yet, options were still open. I left the event. The next day I spoke to my parents and brother. I told them I wouldn't force them to take sides, but I was done with my sister. If they tried to push reconciliation again, I'd walk away from them too. My mom was devastated and tried to ease the tension, but my dad and brother promised to respect my boundaries. I haven't spoken to or messaged my sister in 6 years, except for 2 unsuccessful attempts from my mom to get us to make peace. My sister kept trying to reconnect. Gifts, emotional outbursts. I ignored it all. At family gatherings, I acted like she wasn't even there. At first, she tried to provoke me, but eventually gave up when no one took her side. The only time she truly lost it was when she found out she was invited to my wedding but wouldn't be involved in planning it. My brother still feels guilty for not stepping in sooner. His relationship with my ex has also suffered. They still talk but aren't close anymore. The latest issue happened a few weeks ago when at my mom's birthday party, I announced I was pregnant. It's not the first grandchild in the family, but it's the first girl. Everyone was thrilled, except my sister. Mom invited me over for tea. I had a gut feeling I shouldn't go, but I wanted to stay hopeful. When I arrived, I saw my sister's car. Inside were my sister, her husband, my ex, and his mother. They all felt I was holding a grudge for too long. My ex said he just wanted to be romantic, but I didn't appreciate it. His mom said I was hurting my sister, who only meant well, and now that she had apologized, I should forgive her. While my mom read a letter aloud about how hurt she was by our falling out, I silently texted my husband, dad and brother. Then my sister read her own letter, cried, and repeated the same justifications. I stayed quiet until my brother arrived. He was furious. I had never seen him like that. He grabbed my things and told everyone he was disgusted. We left. I broke down crying in the car, and he kept apologizing. I don't know what happened in the house after we left, but later I sent a message to everyone except my mom, with my lawyer's contact info. I said if anyone tried to reach out again, I'd involve the authorities. No one wrote back. My dad later told me that my mom and sister were in tears. They said they just wanted to fix things, and my sister hoped to be involved in my child's life, maybe even become her godmother. Right now, my dad lives with my brother. They both fully support me, but there are still people in the family who don't agree with my decision. Some mutual acquaintances even called to check on my sister and asked what happened. Turns out, she's been telling people that my husband is the one who's keeping me away from my family. I hate airing private matters in public, but this time, I decided to be fully transparent. I wrote a long post on Facebook, detailing everything that happened. Now, my sister, her husband, and my ex are getting heavily criticized in the comments. That wasn't my goal, but honestly they deserve it. My mom is heartbroken, and yes, I feel bad for her, but not enough to forget how terrible I felt after that last visit. We agreed to talk again in a few days, and I've already set clear and firm boundaries for any possible communication in the future. They've demanded mandatory family therapy, clear boundaries, a complete information blackout about me when it comes to my sister, and separate holidays. The most important condition, if she ever tries anything like this again, I will cut her out of my life for good. My mom thinks that's too harsh, but she agreed. She expected I would immediately start sharing baby news and assumed everything was resolved. I explained that trust is rebuilt slowly, and that she needs to prove she's changed. My father and brother refused to speak to my sister and keep apologizing for not stepping in sooner. We've forgiven them because they recognized their mistakes and made an effort to fix things. My husband supports any decision I make. My mother-in-law, however, isn't sure if I should completely cut my mom off from seeing her grandchild. She says it's my call, and honestly, I'm not sure what to do. As for my sister's logic, apparently, now that I'm pregnant, I'm supposed to stop pretending to be happy with my husband, and accept that I'm destined to be with my ex. And what about the baby? Would her perfect match even accept a child that's not his? She claims she's no longer trying to get us back together, but insists I'm cruel for denying her the chance to be an aunt. She says I'm a bad sister because I'm close with my husband's sisters, who, by the way, are amazing women. Of course, I don't believe her. Right now, the main issue is my mom. She can't be my friend if she believes my ex belongs in my life more than my husband does. My husband thinks she may be mentally unwell. As for my ex, the creepiest part, he still keeps old mixtapes I made for him almost 20 years ago. More and more, I realize that my mom enabling all this is the main reason my sister won't stop. It breaks my heart. I used to think my mom truly liked my husband. Now I'm questioning everything. Update 1. 16 hours later. My ex and I broke up when I was 18. He's 37 now. I didn't want to get engaged or married back then. My sister has always been obsessed with the idea that we'd both marry brothers and be best friends. My ex has 2 kids from a past relationship, but he never married their mom. My sister thinks this means he saved himself for me. His controlling behavior, however, wasn't exclusive to me. Apparently, he was the same with the mother of his kids. Now, thanks to my sister's influence, he's back in my orbit. When I told my family that I was uncomfortable around him, my brother began pulling away. Today, he only tolerates him for the sake of his nephew, my sister's son. Meanwhile, my husband has become one of my brother's closest friends. That day, my dad genuinely had no idea what was planned. My mom lied and told him she wanted quality time with me, so he left. Now, he's furious. They brought my ex and his mom over, claiming it was to resolve things, but it was clearly an ambush. We're not part of any specific religious or cultural group. There's no racial or financial divide between my husband and my ex. If anything, my husband is better off. My in-laws are outraged. My brother and his wife are temporarily cutting off contact with my mom, and may make it permanent. Update 2. 1 week later, my brother sat down with his kids and explained that grandma hurt their aunt and cousin and won't be part of their lives anymore. The kids handled it well. They never had a bond with my sister anyway. My mom exploded. She insists she has rights and will pursue legal options to see her grandchildren. My dad has since moved out, filed for divorce, and ignores her messages. She bombards him daily, but he won't respond. Then, just days later, my mom and sister showed up at my house. My housekeeper let them in. Unaware of the situation, I saw their car, turned around immediately, and called my husband's sister. She arrived and told them flat out, "Leave now, or the police will be called for trespassing." They left, and I was extremely nervous. We went to the doctor, and he said that I shouldn't be putting myself under that kind of stress because it could harm the baby. My father, along with my brother, uncle and my husband, came to my mother's house and took everything they could. My husband said that my sister was there too, yelling at him and blaming him for destroying her family. My father told my mother and sister, straight out, that they nearly harmed the baby, and now he no longer wants to have any contact with them. My sister keeps messaging my brother, begging for help, but he doesn't respond. I feel so sorry for my nephew, because due to his mother's strange decisions, he's losing so many relatives. But it is what it is. As for custody rights and my mother's constant talk about her grandmother's rights, my lawyer sent her a letter warning that her actions have harmed my health and the baby's well-being. If she continues to harass me, the matter will go to court. My brother also sent her a legal letter, describing her actions toward me. My mother and sister refused family therapy. Maybe they really have issues, but it's clear they've been on the same side for a long time. Right now, I'm focusing on spending the holidays with my family, taking care of my health, and attending therapy. Update after 4 months. Hi there. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for your comments, messages, and advice, because thanks to you, we became even more cautious, and as it turned out, that was not for nothing. Some of you asked about the baby's gender. I shared that after 20 weeks of pregnancy, we waited that long because we had already experienced the heartbreaking loss and wanted to make sure everything was fine before sharing the news. Also, we hoped it would be something important for my mother. But as you wrote, after I posted it, I handed the phone to my husband, and he spent a few days rereading your comments and advice. We searched the house, but found nothing. Still, we felt unsafe and moved to a hotel with my father. Soon, we found out that a tracker had been placed on our pet's fur vest. We have a little dog who often gets cold, and he wears a special vest. I never would have thought to check it, but my father found the tracker when walking the dog near the hotel. That was when my sister approached him and started asking how they could restore their relationship. I was furious, and we decided to move. Thankfully, we have the option to do so. We rented a place while renting out our house to avoid it sitting empty. I loved that house, but now it feels spoiled. Unfortunately, the same feelings apply to my parents' house. My brother, husband, father, and even my husband's family have all changed phone numbers, bought new devices, informed friends, and notified the police. We've started individual and family therapy. My father and brother are still upset about everything that happened, even though I've forgiven them. We're going through this together. My mother and sister continue to insist they haven't done anything wrong and refuse therapy. My father made a new will, leaving my mother's son a trust fund and part of the inheritance, while my sister will only get a symbolic amount. She has essentially ceased to exist for him. I feel sorry for her, but I've chosen the health and well-being of my family. I've had the baby, and it truly is a blessing. Of course, it's not the experience I imagined, without my mother by my side. But many friends and relatives support me, and that makes me so happy. We've become so cautious that we've started testing people we're unsure about. We've told them we're about to give birth, and it worked perfectly. That's how we discovered who's still sharing information with my mother and sister, and we immediately cut them off. It turned out that one of my friends kept spreading rumors that the baby was his because we had a brief fling. He even claimed we'd been together much longer than we actually were. My husband responded and reported him to his employer, which led to an internal investigation. I'm pretty sure he'll be fired. We're still getting questions, and the company seems concerned. My mother tried to find us, but everyone who knows where we live has stopped talking to her. My father's lawyer sent her a letter stating that, due to her unstable condition, any communication with us will only happen through lawyers. I'm worried about my father being alone, but he assures me I'm not to blame for what happened. He's become the best nanny for our baby, the breadwinner, and the diaper changer. My nephews continue to delight us, and the family is full of warmth. My father even met with my sister's son. when she started threatening self-harm if her husband didn't stop distancing her from the family. My father offered to meet with her son, but if the threats continue, he will involve the police. Apparently, this stopped her. Yes, some people wrote that I gave Bates false hope. That is far from true. I felt uncomfortable hoping he would leave me alone. But after I met my husband, I had to fight with my sister, who was trying to bring him back into my life. I still love my mother and sister, but I've chosen a healthy life for myself and my family. Not this chaos. I've discovered loyalty, love, and support, and as strange as it sounds, I'm even grateful that all of this happened. I hope this isn't too jumbled. Hugs to you all. Update: after 3 months, we moved to a new house, and my father settled in the guest house. After many discussions and therapy, we decided it would be best to live nearby, but each have our own space. My father still gathers the grandchildren about 3 times a week, but he meets with my sister's son separately, as she doesn't allow him to take the child unless she knows where he lives. Though this makes sense, we don't want her close. My mother complains to her lawyer that it's unfair, but she can't do anything about it. About a month ago, my father admitted that he's been paying for my nephew's education and nanny services, and that's why my sister still lets him see the child. He felt guilty for hiding it, but I reassured him that he hasn't done anything wrong. On Mother's Day, my father received an email with a link to Instagram, where a video was posted about how the family turned its back on the poor mother, and my sister was the only one who stayed by her side. It was pathetic and ridiculous. We passed it along to the lawyer. In May, my father filed for divorce, and the process is still ongoing. My mother insists he's making a mistake, but my father has made his final decision. On Father's Day, my brother and husband threw a celebration for him, and they had a great time. My sister was posting that day, but we blocked her in advance so that my father wouldn't see it and could just enjoy the celebration. They also organized a camping trip with the kids, renting a hotel and setting up a tent for the kids and a small teepee for the baby. Honestly, giving birth to our child has been the best thing that ever happened to me, and seeing how amazing a father my husband has become makes me incredibly happy. Yes, taking care of the baby is exhausting, but we have so much support that I feel infinitely grateful. I know I have reliable people around me. Right now, my sister-in-law and I manage a shared calendar, where we plan activities for the kids by age and let them know that they don't have to spend time with people they don't like. At the moment, everyone is obsessed with the baby and calls themselves her protectors. We hold family gatherings and get-togethers, and for me, it's now a joy, not a source of stress, because my sister no longer ruins the atmosphere. I know this sounds harsh, but she really drained all the positive energy from the room. My mother-in-law also loves spending time with the baby and stays in the guest room about once a week. She asked me if it was okay, and immediately clarified that she wouldn't be taking the baby for overnight stays. I feel comfortable with her. I feel like she respects and listens to me. Yes, sometimes I burst into tears because I miss my mom. The mom I used to have. Not the one who called me a terrible mother and cruel woman. My therapist says it's a marathon, not a sprint, and that I need to focus on the good. Now, the good news: Bates was fired, and his reputation in the industry is ruined. The same happened to his brother. But since his job isn't critical where reputation matters, he still seems to be in place. Bates sent me a few long letters filled with disjointed thoughts. And since he only has my lawyer's address, guess who gets to read and archive those letters? I absolutely love my lawyer. Thank you all so much.